And hello, ladies, gentlemen, people in between, those of you all shapes, sizes, and orientations. Welcome to the second day of the Sanitarium.FM Winter Open Tournament here with Hearthstone. I'm your commenter, Predicted Cyborg, and I'm joined again by Mr. Dimebot.
Hello, everybody. Who's ready for some Hearthstone?
I'm ready for some Hearthstone. I hope everybody else is ready for Hearthstone. We've got two semi-finals coming up first. First one is going to be, as it says in the title, Zeoste versus Izziekakarot. So let's switch over to the Hearthstone window. And
this should be some really good matches today. We saw some good play out of all of our competitors yesterday, and I'm looking forward to this one. Izzy, of course, was our last match yesterday versus Krauser, and that one was really fun to watch.
Yeah, very equal.
Yes. So, is it Zeoste or is it Zeoste? I've always called him Zeoste.
I don't actually know how it's pronounced. I've always said Zeoste.
Or is he very, very Italian, and is it Zeoste?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to ask him.
I'm being told I'm very loud.
That's a little bit of a problem. Anyway.
There we go. Let's see if that's a little better. Mike Matrix is yelling at me in Skype, guys.
Mike Matrix being one of our people. Anyway, I'll tell also the Zeoste to challenge.
Yes. Let's start. I wanna see some Hearthstone, man.
Zeoste visiting the quest log, preparing to battle a friend. There we go. They are setting up. Soon we will be able to spectate.
Indeed. I'm all right now. Awesome. I like Zeoste. I'm going to call him that from now on.
Okay, Hearthstone's being a little bit slow on my end.
It is for me as well. So, interesting fact, Zeoste did not submit his battle tag like he was supposed to in the contest sign-up. Fortunately for him, I already had him as a friend in Hearthstone, so... Alright, so we are starting with Zeoste as Shaman and Izziekakarot as a Warlock.
This should be an interesting matchup. Shaman versus Warlock. I've always kind of seen them as kind of like opposites in a way.
Indeed.
I'm not entirely sure why, but
Alright.
So Zeo's got quite a good hand there. Lots of very low cost cards. But then Izzy also has quite a good hand there.
And Zombie Chow, while having a 1-mana cost 2/3 is nice, remember the Death Rattle on Zombie Chow is going to restore 5 health to Izzy whenever he kills it.
Yeah, which is generally why you try and play it sooner rather than later.
And out on the board right out of the gate, so Zeoste also holding the coin, so
we could see
if he really wants to play... exactly, definitely.
We'll see if he does that, or a Lightning Storm.
I imagine he'll hold on to the Lightning Storm, probably for later board clear. It's not a card you want to play right out of the gate like this, especially not against a Voidwalker and a Haunted Creeper.
I know. It's just as I say, it's come out. He has the option to do that. He's probably not going to.
Now, I imagine if anything, we might see the Rockbiter pop up relatively soon. It is going to be the Feral Spirit, probably. Nope.
Yep,
yes,
Feral Spirit gets played with the coin. 2 Spirit Wolves are now on the field, and the Zombie Child takes a hit onto Izzy's taunt.
Now, how is Izzy going to choose to respond to this?
He's got a few options there. 3 low cost cards, and then you've got a Golden Doom Guard.
And the Knife Juggler, so... always good for some aggravating damage.
And there goes
Knife Juggler, of course, yeah. And we've got the Haunted Creeper popped. Spectral Spider's out. Knife Juggler, of course, one of the cards I hate the most in the game. It's so aggravating.
Unfortunately, those knife juggles did not go in the most convenient places. If one of those had actually hit the Spirit Wolf that only had 1 HP, it would have been out of the way. But there we go, we see the Zombie Chow was quite valuable for Zeo there, because the downside didn't really have much of an effect, because Izzy was already at full HP.
Yep, and he got a lot of value out of that Zombie Chow, so nice way to open. Direwolf Alpha coming out in the middle to make maximum advantage of that attack buff.
And there go both those taunt cards.
So Izzy right now, the only player with actual damage on the board. Of course, Zeoste has a lot of options in this hand right now. He's got the Lightning Storm, he's got the Rock Biter. Earthshock is still in the mix. And it's going to be another Feral Spirit.
And then an Earthshock to neutralise the Wolves' buff up ability.
Very nice. Now, if he wants to get to Zhao's face, Izzy's going to have to drop the both taunts. He's going to have to burn that Direwolf to get through it. And of course, let's not forget that you also have a Flame Tongue Totem sitting in Zhao's hand, so that could really swing things. Its adjacent minions have +2 attack, so if he places that in the center right there between those two Spirit Wolves, all of a sudden you're looking at 2 4/3s on the board.
Yep. Flame Tongue Totems, for me, some of the most aggravating Shaman cards I have to play against, because, you know, they always seem to come out when they're the most aggravating for you. You know what I mean. I just can't find the right words.
No, I definitely.
Soulfire there, taking care of one of those taunts. And Neutralized Wolf gets some value by taking care of the other taunt. And the Blood Imp.
Blood Imp is one of those cards that is so utterly aggravating. It's a 0/1, and it's stealthed, and it gives health to random minions. It's just one of those cards that when it goes on the board, you just sit there and go, alright, now I have to do anything I can to deal with this card. It's just so irritating. Great play by Izzy.
Best way to deal with stealth cards, though, use cards that don't specifically target other creatures. Like taking Paladin for an example. If you use a Consecration, you know, that imp ain't gonna survive.
No, and I play a lot of Mage and Arcane Missiles, although, you know, Arcane Missiles is RNG, so of course it may not hit it.
That's an interesting choice there, to eat the imp.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of Void Terrors. To be fair, you don't see that card much in a lot of matches. It's highly useful, but it's going to be played on the right curve, and it's going to get hexed here. So, nice play with the hex. You don't want a 5/5 on the board any longer than you can help it. And the Healing Totem coming out. Of course, there's nothing for it to heal, so...
Not much use at the moment, unfortunately. So, we're going to see Izzy play his Defender of Argus. Yes, I think we are. That frog that was already a taunt now has some attack power behind it.
I just want Angry Frog.
It still looks rather startled to me.
Yeah, I've always loved the art on the hex. It's, you know, you could just see, like, whatever poor minion got transformed into it behind its eyes going, what happened?
Yeah. Okay, so Lightning Storm coming out, 2 Overload, but hopefully will do enough damage to wipe the board, and it does.
So Zeoste with a chance to put some more damage on to Izzy here. Very even right now, 23 to 22 as far as health. Of course, we all know how quick that can swing in a Hearthstone game.
So look at the draw, and the advantage that Zeoste has over Izzy at the moment is that Izzy, unfortunately, has played his entire hand now. He didn't have to discard any cards because of it, but, you know, he has still played his entire hand. He's now top decking. That's not something you really want to be doing.
No, however, looking at what he's got on the board, Doomguard is a great card to have out. It's a 5/7. And then we saw yesterday just how devastating the Nerubian eggs can be. Once you pop them and that 4/4 Nerubian comes up, that is a card that you want to silence and get rid of as quickly as you can if you have it available in your hand.
Okay, so Zeoste is just using his Rock Biter weapon, popping his Haunted Creeper, and I'm assuming he's going to use his Flame Tongue to wipe out the Doom Guard. There we go.
And that Wrath of Air Totem, bringing down +1 spell damage for him. Of course, currently Zeoste does not have any spells available in his hand, but that could change very quickly.
Oh, Novice Engineer there to allow for card draw. More card draw there from the life tap, and another Doom Guard.
Probably not what Zeoste wanted to see.
The Haunted Creeper is now gone. The Flame Tongue Totem is now gone. A whole lot of power is now off the board. I think Zeal still has the advantage for the moment, but he's still got to deal with that Doom Guard, because if he doesn't, then it's going to be quite a problem.
Absolutely. He does have those 2 fire elementals still sitting in hand, and the Ezra Drake, so he's got 1 spell damage already on the board, and he can add more to that with the Ezra Drake, so might be looking for a really strong spell to come out here right in the next couple rounds. It depends on what draws, obviously. And we also have another Zombie Chow sitting in Zhao's hand, so that's another 2 damage, but, as we said before, and Fire Elemental with some damage to the face, Zombie Chow would heal Izzy back up to 20, so...
You've got to wonder now what's going through Uzia's head, because obviously, you know, it is quite a dangerous creature, that Doom Guard, but doesn't really have that many effective ways to deal with it. Although,
and silencing out the Wrath of Air Totem was a great move. Of course, Izzy doesn't know that Zeoste has the Ezra Drake in his hand, so he can put that +1 spell damage right back on the board. And playing the Flame Imp.
There's
we
that
talked
spell.
about this yesterday. Yep, there it is. We talked about this Flame Imp a little bit yesterday. Definitely a card that you have to be careful playing. It's a 3/2 1-drop, but 3 damage to your hero is the battle cry, so...
Playing a Flame Imp, probably better towards right at the beginning of the game, or when oh god, which Warlock legendary is it that makes your hero invulnerable?
I can't remember the name of it right now.
Morganus, is it?
Yeah, and there's that Lightning Storm just sitting in the hand right now. Will he play it, or is he going to maybe drop the Nerubian? Has 5 mana left to work with here.
I mean, obviously, using the Lightning Storm will give Izzy the 4/4 Nerubian himself, but he's still going to do it.
And the Stoneclaw Totem, the taunt's going to be really useful there. It's going to keep that Nerubian from punching straight through to his face for right now. And Zhao's still sitting on a card advantage while Izzy is still top decking, so...
Of course, a Defender of Argus could delay things just a little bit.
And one of Sai's favorite cards, the Tiny Knight of Evil, has made its appearance. We're looking at a 5/5 Nerubian and a 4/3 Tiny Knight of Evil. All the damage on Izzy's side right now, but Doomhammer, pop it up for Zeoste.
Is you going to use the Fire Elemental, though, to take care of the Tiny Knight of Evil?
Well, Zeoste absolutely has to honor that damage that's on the board and get rid of it as quickly as he can. He's down to 18 health, and that was a hit that he definitely did not want to take. Another Stoneclaw coming up, so once again protected by his taunts and the 6/5 Fire Elemental on the board and Doomhammer in the hand. So Zeoste looking to wrap it up here.
Yeah, ooh, Bloodlust. That's gonna more than do it.
Yeah, that's game round 1 is gonna go to Zeoste. That was a really even match. It looked like Izzy had him there for a while, and then that last combo that came out from Zeoste was just too much to stop.
The minute that Izzy started top decking, he was sort of trying to build ground back up, and unfortunately couldn't couldn't manage to do it, although he did hold on for quite a long time, which is commendable.
Now, I wonder what Izzy's going to bring to the next round. And will Zeoste stay with that deck, or will he switch it up? And
we've got a hunter versus a paladin.
Interesting. Glaive Zuka. Love that card.
So do I.
And a knife juggler. And that's a golden knife juggler. Always loved the animation on that card. So, once again, a very low mana curve hand for Zeoste starting out, and some real damage potential with Abusive Sergeant and Knife Juggler in the mix. Loses the contest.
No, Izzy won the joust, so got a slightly buffed up little Gadgets and Jouster there. The Knife Juggler comes out on the field with that spinning knife animation.
And
quickly taken care of, unfortunately.
Very quickly.
And Knife Juggler seems to be the reply coming from Izzy.
Fair enough. We've seen a lot of Knife Juggler. We keep talking about that card because it keeps showing up, but it is such a cost-effective card. Every time you play another minion, it deals 1 random damage to an enemy, or 1 damage to a random enemy, I should say. So, for a 2-drop, it's a 3/2, and it has the potential to do even more damage. Extremely powerful card. That's why you see it so much.
Abusive Sergeant giving the Haunted Creeper a power-up, but unfortunately not able to use it.
Now, he's just getting the Abusive Sergeant out there right now just to have some more board presence, because
well, of course,
the Haunted Creeper was going to go down. Of course, Spectral Spiders, 2 1/1s is not a bad thing to have on your side ever. Now, the Piloted Shredder, this is a card that is really popular right now because of the fact that when it dies, it summons a random 2-cost minion.
Exactly. So you get 2 minions for the cost of 4 mana, which is quite good. I mean, okay, the 2-cost minion is randomized, so that can sometimes work against you, but.
And let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be an Armor Smith, which actually is exactly not what Zeoste wanted to get pulled by that card.
It's if you get an Armor Smith from Piloted Shredder, it's a pretty good 2-drop.
Now, let's take a look at Zeost's hand here. 2 Savannah Highmanes. Now, of course, you cannot play 2 Savannah Highmanes in the same turn unless you have some cards that reduce the mana cost, but that's a 6/5. 2 of them are sitting in his hand, and when they die, they summon 2/2 Hyenas. So, massive potential to multiply his board strength here with these 2 cards, and he has another Abusive Sergeant.
Yep. Anyway, we go back to Master Izzy. Is choosing to reinforce rather than play a card from his hand. Theo has drawn the card that he's using. Animal Companion summons Leok. Not what I think he wanted at this point.
Now, Leok always seems to pop up when you don't want him. He's like that friend, like, quote, air quotes, friend that always shows up at the party and comes straight to you, and you're like, please go away.
Yeah, I know, because I do actually play Hunter decks, and Leok. Oh god. Anyway, True Silver Champion has been equipped. You just take care of Leok very quickly and efficiently.
Bye, Leok.
Which
that seems to be Leok's. That's Leok's lot in life. He comes out, people are not happy to see him, and he gets murdered.
Anyway, one of the Highmanes is now on the field. Beware this lion. It has quite the bite, and when it dies, 2 hyenas will show up to avenge it.
Yes. You think Leok just sits at home at night and cries?
Possibly. Oh, okay, that lion has been defanged.
That was a very, very nice play there out of Izzy. That Eldor Peacekeeper is such a great card. Changing an enemy minion's attack to 1 as the battle cry. Exactly the situation you expect to see it used in there, too. Neutralize that 6/5, keep that damage off the board, and then go ahead and drop it with your minions. Now, it's going to take 1 damage to the face here, but that's a lot better than, say, taking 6 damage to the face.
Mm-hmm. And, oh no, doesn't choose to take down the lion. Obviously didn't want him to have the hyenas to use next turn.
Exactly. Zeoste is going to go ahead and buff it back up. I imagine we're going to see him run it into, the Aldor Peacekeeper.
The Armor Smith, of course, generates a little bit of armor, but the lion has now split into the 2 hyena minions. Another animal companion comes out, and we get a Misha. And to finish off the turn, well, maybe not finish off the turn, Leponome and a hero power to get rid of that bit of armor.
So Leopardome, also one of those really great death rattle cards, dealing 2 damage to the enemy hero when it dies. So even if the Leopardome never gets to attack, you get guaranteed damage out of it.
Ooh!
And the slam.
There goes that armor. Shielded Minibot on the field. Armor Smith does a point of damage.
And we're looking at an opposite situation from last game this time. Izzy sitting on 4 cards in hand, and Zeoste is almost down to top decking. Not where he wants to be at this point. They're both even on health, and here comes the second Savannah Highmane.
Chooses to put out his other big hitter card rather than Arcane Golem, which is probably a good idea. You don't want to give Izzy more of an advantage than he already has. And by that I mean an extra mana crystal, which is the price of the charge.
Yeah, although at this point in the game, 1 mana crystal is not a huge deal either way. And Ragnaros pop it out. This is looking very strong for Izzy. Zeoste absolutely has to shut down Ragnaros this turn, and he's going to have to basically burn everything he's got to get rid of him.
Mad Scientist out on the field. And the Arcane Golem coming. It is coming, and it's going to be running into Ragnaros as well. There we go. Unfortunately, just generate a little bit more armor for Izzy, but easily removed with the hero power.
Zeoste sitting on 11 health right now.
And he is top decking. Oh, Lord of the Arena. And a Consecration.
And Consecration. This one looking to be over real quick, folks, and going to a game 3. There comes the freezing trap.
The Shielded Minibot is out of the way. Not exactly the card out there, so you'd want to particularly...
Quick Shot's going to give him a little bit of draw, but it's also not going to be enough to drop this Lord of the Arena. And every time he does damage, that Armor Smith's still on the board, giving Izzy armor. He has gotten a ton of value out of this card, and let's remember, this card came from the Piloted Shredder being killed.
Piloted Shredder random drop. This is one reason why people love putting the Piloted Shredder, even in professional decks. I saw a lot of them at the World Championship. Well, there's 2 shielded mini-bots, and yes, we're getting the muster for battle, 3 recruits, and a hammer.
Yeah, down to 1 health. This is...
It looks as if it's over.
Glavezuka, it is over. Zeoste is going to concede. He knows he's done. We're going to go to a game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Great match.
So it just shows you that in Hearthstone, anyone is able to win with the right cards, the right draws, so on and so forth. You don't have to change decks, Izzy.
No, Izzy doesn't have to change decks if he doesn't want to. Zeoste, of course, does.
You only change it. Of course, the rules on this: you only change your deck if you've lost. Like, if a deck gets defeated, you're not allowed to use it again. Winners are allowed to switch around their available decks at their leisure. There we go.
All right, heading into match right now, guys.
Match 3 coming up. Polishing Spectacles. Actually, speaking of polishing spectacles, mine could use a bit of a scrub. I'll do that in the break.
Excuse me, guys.
So we have a paladin versus a shaman.
Blessed Champion, Lothab, and Knife Juggler. Not the best starting hand. Knife Juggler, of course, will be useful early game, but Lothab and Blessed Champion, not so much. Both 5-mana drops. Gonna be a little while before they can be played.
True Silver Champion as well. Silver Champion's a little bit more useful. On the other hand, Izziekakarot, looking at that hand, that's actually a fairly low cost hand. Okay, the Leroy Jenkins is a little bit more expensive, but you know, Izzy at least has some options where, unfortunately, Zeo at the moment does not. Choosing to reinforce instead of play any card from the hand.
Well, I'm sorry, I was too busy breaking pots. Damn you, Blizzard, and your boards. Alright, so now that I'm done playing with the board, Tuskar Totemic and Searing Totem out, facing off against Zeoste's 1/1 Silverhand Recruit. And that Silverhand Recruit's got to be feeling pretty nervous right now.
Choosing to play the Knife Juggler instead of playing the Seal of Champions. And you've got two cards on the field there that are sort of evenly matched in their attack and their health. Only the Knife Juggler has an extra ability. Will it get to actually play it?
Probably not, because it looks like the Rock Biter is coming down.
Hard. Taking the damage to get rid of the Knife Juggler. Ancestral Knowledge there to draw 2 cards, but will require some mana crystals to be locked next turn. That is what Overload does. It's the downside of the Shaman class.
Now, we're going to get the True Silver Champion coming out here. So, Zeoste only going to take 1 damage from this when all is said and done with that heal.
And he has 4 attack there, ready to go for next turn. Is he choosing to use the Totemic Call with his available mana? That's all he could really do. Well, unless he wanted to play the Flame Tongue, but playing the Flame Tongue would not have been a good idea.
Yeah, Healing Totem not actually that useful with an empty board, but Lothab coming out, and that's going to make it really hard to cast spells.
Yep. Looking at Izzy's hand, he does actually have an awful lot of spells in there. So he has a choice now. He's going to play his Flame Tongue, the Leroy Jenkins, or one of his 4-cost cards. 2 Dog-Eyed Dwarves.
Zeoste has the potential for some really ugly combo coming up here, because you've got Blessed Champion, which doubles a minion's attack, you've got the Abusive Sergeant, and you've got Seal of Champions. And there's already a 5/5 on the board, so if Lothab lives for a couple turns, he could be swinging like a truck.
Well, to be absolutely honest, by the looks of him, that would make sense, really. He does look as if he would swing like a truck.
He's not exactly the most handsome gentleman ever to grace Hearthstone, but...
True. He did take a little bit of damage, but it's still up. Of course, there is now the Stoneclaw Totem, which has some attack power thanks to the Flame Tongue, and is a taunt. Not the biggest taunt wall in the world, but it's still something that Zeoste needs to get past. How is he going to choose to do it?
Well, it's very easily dealt with the Consecration, although I don't know if he wants to burn that just yet. Nope, he's going to choose to go with Lothab and drop the Leper Gnome.
Still got some... Still got 3 mana to burn. Is he going to choose to use it? This is the question. And,
looks like it is going to be the Seal of Champions. He's thinking about it. Thinking about it.
He's not entirely sure where it's going to go, though. There we go.
It's going to go on the Leper Gnome.
It's an interesting choice. But then I suppose a Leper Gnome that can hit hard and then still does its 2 damage after it dies. So that's quite valuable for the 1 mana.
Yeah, this is potentially a 7 damage Leper Gnome, which...
Well, 4 mana actually, if you consider the spell card. But still, not bad.
And the Dark Iron Dwarf, card that I absolutely love. Give a minion +2 attack this turn. Gonna pop that Divine Shield.
And here comes the Forked Lightning. I thought we were going to see that.
And exactly where he wanted it to hit, taking all the big damage off the board, leaving just that 1/1 Silverhand Recruit there.
Still got 1 mana to play with. Chooses to give himself some attack power. And smack. There goes the Silverhand Recruit.
And Argent Squire being pulled for Zeoste. Now both opponents doing really well on hand this turn, or this game. Both of them sitting on 5 cards. Let's see the Argent Squire come out. Reinforce.
Still got 4 mana to play with. Is he going to make use of it?
Well,
no.
Nope. Exactly what I would have done, because equality.
Not really much use you could have got from it.
No, you don't want to burn equality this turn, or consecration, and definitely abusive sergeant. Both cards still asleep from being summoned, so yeah. The Durham, we're aware of it. We're going to be fixing that issue between matches.
So I've just pulled a Sword of Justice there, which will buff any minions as he plays. Of course, you can only really do that to the Abusive Sergeant because it's the only minion he has in his hand right now. Oh, besides the Reinforce. Sorry, I'm not paying attention.
And looking at a 3/1 Argent Squire, a 3/2 Abusive Sergeant, going to be able to handle that taunt with no problem.
Choosing to do damage to the face instead of wailing on the Dark Iron Dwarf. Here comes Leroy Jenkins, I think. Nope.
Yes it is.
You got it. I should have known. You can't hold Leroy Jenkins back, can you?
No, you can't.
Those 2 whelps, though, they're both going to get power-ups. But, doesn't seem to matter, though.
That was a beautiful board wipe. 10 damage on the side of Izzy right now, and what looked like it was going to be a lot of damage coming up from Zeoste has been wiped from the board. That's just what I think is about Hearthstone, how quickly that can swing.
Mm-hmm. Now Zeoste does actually have a combination here. He could play Equality and then Consecration and wipe Izzy's board, but then he doesn't really have much to follow it up with. Well, actually no, he can reinforce an Abusive Sergeant again. But
well, Equality, now this is a good chance to play Equality. Going to go ahead and wipe the board for Izzy. And Reinforce, going to pull out the Silverhand Recruit.
So we use the Sword of Justice, but we do have a 2/2 Recruit on the field. The only creature on the field right now. Until the Feral Spirit comes out. 2 Taunt Spirit Wolves on the field. Both of them more than a match for the poor Recruit. He's also going to get silenced.
Yeah, that poor Recruit right there just never really had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
An Avenging Wrath. This is going to be fun. Of course, it is randomly split, so we don't actually know where all the damage is going to go. Took care of the healing totem, but unfortunately those 2 Spirit Wolves remain on this side. Yeah.
A little bit of damage to the face as well, but could have been more impactful if it had taken down the Spirit Wolves.
Yep.
And we've got the Flame Tongue totem coming out. Going to have 4/2 and 4/1 on the Spirit Wolves.
So you've got a Crackle there. Is he going to choose to play it? Nope.
He's thinking about it. He is going to go ahead and throw the Crackle. That's going to bring him down to 14. And that takes care of the Silverhand Recruits. A little bit more damage to the face, bringing Zeoste down to 10 and dropping the Haunted Creeper. We're going to be looking at 2 Spectral Spiders here, probably sometime in the very near future.
And a Searing Totem as well. Reinforce. Is there something on the field?
Zeoste still sitting on Blessed Champion. Unfortunately, there's really not anything he has on the board that's...
No, there we go.
They concede.
Zeoste has conceded. Izziekakarot, winner of our first semi-finals, going on to the final match, which will be played a little bit later today. Congratulations to Izziekakarot. Commiserations, Zeo. You've played an absolutely wonderful game. And that was our first 3-game match of the tournament.
And we're going to be taking a quick break, guys. We need to sort some technical problems. We're aware of the difficulties